Welcome to this week's Tarot Snapshot. I'm not sure if you saw a few days ago, I posted one of my daily messages about moving away from tarot. For the past year and a half, I've been doing daily morning messages using tarot cards. Pull a tarot card, read it. What I'd found is that I'd had a difficult time because I'd sit down to do them. I'd get a message or guided to share a particular piece of insight, and I'd pull a tarot card. And sometimes I'd have a bit of difficulty trying to make those things line up. And I feel like how do I say, the guidance from spirit is more important to me, or more valuable, let's say, than the guidance from tarot. But I don't want to ever give up tarot. I'm not going to. I do tarot readings on my website, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the tarot snapshot will be the time that I share insight and information from tarot, because I think it is valuable. Because our connection and our insight isn't the only thing that we should rely on. We should look at the symbols around us, the insight. This is why we read books, because we're not born with all the information that we need to get through this world. With that being said, the Tarot Snapshot is a 3-card reading. I like to keep it less than 10 minutes long. And this is a snapshot into where we're at. Now, if you're a tarot reader, oracle card reader, rune reader, what have you, you can use this very simple format. You pull a card or a symbol that represents where we're at, or where you're at. And for this week and this purpose, it's where we are at collectively, because I'm going to get insight and benefit from this as well. The second card is what vexes and perplexes us. What's our challenge? The third card is what heals and reveals, our guidance. So let me shuffle 3 times. We're going to take a look at where we're at, and that's how we set the intention. We're going to take a look at what vexes and perplexes, what heals and reveals. And thank you for being here, because I know that your time is valuable. There's a million different things that you could be doing with your time right now other than listening to me ramble on. Here we are. The card that represents where we're at right now is a Magician. Okay. The creative element. The magician creates. The one detail that I want to show you here, and this, remember, is all of us, is the hand pointing up with that wand and the hand pointing down. This represents how we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm sure you've heard that expression, as above, so below. This is the idea that we are a conduit to and for spirit. I like to think of us as walking doorways. We are souls having a human experience, which means by default, you are connected all the time to divine wisdom and guidance through your faculties of love. And I really think it's appropriate for you to remember that. When we feel alone, we feel frustrated, we feel isolated, we're backed into a corner, we don't know what to do, remember that you are always connected. Also, you'll see the 4 suits here on the table, and I love the example of this table. The sword is the mind, the cups are our emotions, the pentacles are our body, and the wands are our will or our belief system. So this is air, water, earth, fire. We're all made up of the 4 elements, and we have to keep them in balance, just like table legs need to keep a table in balance. I want you to remember, you've got a set of emotions, you've got a mind, you've got a body, and you've got a belief system. You've got will. Keep them in balance so the table doesn't get rocky. And as you keep those in balance, you'll find that you are a better conduit for that divine love and spirit that we are all connected to. Just remember, you have the power. And as a spiritualist and a spiritual practitioner, I do think that any spiritual practitioner or spiritual path worth their salt will always guide a person back to the divine authority they were born with. I don't want to be your guru. I am only here to walk beside you, not walk in front of you. I just want to give you different perspectives that will always show you that you have the insight and the wisdom. But let's take a look at what vexes and perplexes us. Okay, the Six of Wands. I love this card because it talks about victory. And we see this person here on a horse. They made it through some sort of battle. There's that wreath of victory. They're decorated. The horse is decorated. I always love this little person back here. It always seems like they're like looking at them like they're kind of pissed off that they're up on their high horse. There's a deeper level to this card, though. This card, to me, is the PTSD card, the post-traumatic stress disorder card. That's not resigned solely to veterans. If you are a person who has struggled through any battles or traumas, you've gotten to the other side of it, that's going to become a lens through which you see life. Remember that any trauma is going to have post-traumatic stress disorder. We've all been through a complicated world. We're kind of all going through a complicated world right now. And there's a good deal of us who love the chaos that seems to be sown through America right now. Be that as it may, you, no matter your political or religious affiliations, have gone through the ringer at some point in your life. Those experiences will color how you see this world, color how you see yourself. We all have a little PTSD in this world to a greater or lesser degree. So that's what's vexing and perplexing us. Sometimes those things that we battle through will make it really difficult for us to create a balanced and healthy and super duper life. Now, the card that heals and reveals. Where's our guidance lie? The Eight of Wands. Okay. This is a card of movement. This is a card of communication. But I want to tell you what this card means to me. This is a card of prayer. This is a card of prayer. And I'm very specific about this. A lot of people think prayer is just like, sitting on for hours on your knees or in meditation. Let me tell you about why prayer is so important. There's some mechanics to it. So take two people that are sick. All things being equal, they have the same illness, they have the same proclivities and chances of recovery. One person doesn't pray for health. The other person prays for health. If the other person prays for health, remember belief, they're going to believe that health is possible, which means they're contributing to it. This is the literal placebo effect, the sugar pill thing where people are given sugar pills, they believe it's medicine and their body fixes itself. When we pray, we believe that at least a smidgen of success or health or love is possible. If this person isn't praying, they're not believing. And I want you to pray because I've seen amazing things happen in my life because I've simply asked. I found the love of my life. I was essentially an atheist 17 years ago, but I prayed to God or universe or source and said, give me a person like this. 2 weeks later, I met my husband. I know the power of prayer. I know the connection to divine source. And prayer might just simply be us getting out of our own way. So I'm going to ask you, I know you want to create the best life. And I know that you've been through the ringer. Ask for healing. I have found incredible healing and such goodness by going, hey, I know I've got something going on with me. Can you help me get around it? Can you help me get through it? Can you lead me to something that's a little bit better? Okay. That's it. Remember that you're connected to divine source. Remember that you are a soul having a human experience. And as you're having a human experience, you're going to go through the ringer. Make sure that you're always praying for health, hope, balance, and peace. It doesn't hurt to ask, and you literally have nothing to lose. All my love to you. Thank you for being here. Be well. I'll see you next time.